Vernon, it's really good to see you again. And I think we only talked like 6 or 7 months ago, and it seems like you've advanced 5 or 10 years in your career since then with all that you have going on. So I want to get to that in a minute, but I am curious because Washington signed a Chilean tight end, Samus Reyes, who has never played football, grew up playing basketball. And, you probably have never seen this guy, but I'm curious, as a former tight end, what are some of the things that you would say this will be the transition that he'll have to endure? I mean, you would have known other guys who have gone through this transition. What would be the hardest thing, do you think, for him to go through to be able to make that transition?
Well, I think the hardest thing for a basketball player in general is just to go from playing this sport that's so passive and all of a sudden you're playing a sport that's really physical. I think that's going to be something for him to really Kim, are you there?
Yes.
I think I lost you. I can't see you. Let me see. There you go.
Okay.
I think in general it's going to be tough for him to make the transition from basketball to football, because that basketball is something that's so passive, and then all of a sudden you're playing this sport called football, which is really physical. So he's going to have to get used to being physical, and he's going to have to adjust to the play calling, learning a different system of play calling, which is football, because it's totally different than basketball. And that's the biggest thing, just being physical, running routes, getting downfield, catching the ball. It's going to definitely be a challenge for him.
Jordan Reed was a basketball player. Now, he also played football, though. There have been other guys, obviously, a number of guys a few guys who have made that transition. Can you tell when a tight end, like whether it's Gage or someone like that, Jimmy Graham has that background, could you tell that they have that background when they're out there? Is there something different about the way they move out there at that position?
Yeah, you can definitely tell when a football player has a basketball background, because of the way his footwork is totally different from a football player. They're so used to moving in tight space and dribbling the ball, and their quickness, their sudden quickness is there. They're really good at reaching for the ball at its highest point. They have natural hands and just their ability to create separation when running routes. Like Jordan Reed.
Yeah. Did you miss playing this year?
I did. I miss playing this year. Sometimes I'm sitting home and I'm looking at football, and I just start thinking, like, maybe I should go back 1 year.
How long would that thought last?
It lasts throughout the day. I'll think about it throughout the day, and then I'll snap out of it, like, if I do this, then I can't do this. And, I just start thinking about so many different things. But I do, I played the game for so long. 14 years is quite some time. And to just walk away and now I'm doing something totally different, it's just, it's only been a year. So I think I'm going to continue to think about going back as this year continues to progress.
So you're not down in your basement still catching a couple hundred tennis balls a day?
No, I'm not doing that right now.
Okay. What was the hardest part about what did you miss the most?
I miss the locker room, man. It's nothing like getting up in the morning, going into that locker room and cultivating relationships with all the different guys, because sometimes a lot of people, they may think, well, the outside, they think that everyone in the locker room gets along, or they know each other really, really well. But it takes time, because you won't know everyone in that locker room until it'll take you to the end of the year to get to really know everybody, because you're not hanging with certain guys have their groups, right? They have this group that they hang with mostly, and then they have the guys that they talk to and the guys that they sit at the lunchroom table with. It's so many players. It just takes time. So that's what I love, just going around the locker room, getting to know everyone.
Were you glad to see Jordan retire, and not for the reasons, but like he's getting out and there had been an accumulation from him? Were you glad with that, or what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a good thing for Jordan, because Jordan has really struggled with injuries. He struggled with just the game and just staying healthy, and to see him retire after having so many concussions, and that's what I was afraid of for him, just the concussions, and I didn't want to see him get another one. I wanted to see him play, also wanted to see him hang it up, and just because I love the guy and I want to see him take care of himself long term. He's 30 something years old, so he had the next 60, 70
Right.
years to live his life. So I want to see him do that prosperous.
But I'm like you, because I really enjoyed watching him when he was like that last year he had in Washington, like he's back. And then he got hurt again. And it was just like, as somebody who just loves football, it's fun. It was fun to watch him run routes and just put the little jukes on linebackers or whatever. So let's turn to your I wouldn't say your passion. This is what you do with the movies. And I'm going to get to the NFT collection in a little bit, but let's start with the movies. Like, you're taking off. You've got production. How many production companies do you now have?
I have 2 companies that I created on my own, and then I have one that I partner with, TMG, out of Fitzgerald, Georgia. We've done 3 Bruce Willis movies over there. We're just cranking them out. I mean, Luke Wilson was there. He's done a movie there. So we just do movies back to back over there, man. And we have a slate of films that we plan to produce between now and the middle of next year as well. Why
did you want to get in with the production end?
Well, I like production. I've always been in production. Behind the camera, in front of the camera, is something that I picked up while I was playing ball. I've always enjoyed it, like the different skits that you do with the different networks that come in and the things you do in house. I mean, I just loved it. It grew on me, and my passion was to pursue the arts of acting.
But production also gives you a deeper sense of power, right? I mean, you can produce things that you want to do, and does it give you a stronger voice to do things?
I think it gives you a voice. It gives you a voice to create when it comes to creating content. And content is a solution for problems, right?
Right.
When people when people are looking at my content, I want them to say, gosh, that really helped me out. This film helped me out. Or now I can see things from a different perspective. That's all it is. So if we can create content like that and just create films, and if I can continue to work on my craft and get better at this stuff, I'm all about it.
For minorities, how important is it to get more involved and get more voices in production?
Yeah, right now is a good time for minorities. I mean, because of everything that's happened, you get to tell a story and you get to express the way you feel. That's all it is, from both sides, from production as well as an actor. You expressing how you feel. You express. You're pretty much making a voice and telling a story the way you want to tell it. And there's no right or wrong. You know what I mean? You're basically opening up. So I think it's imperative, especially as minorities, getting into the production spaces in general.
It's more perspectives, and I think more perspectives are always good, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
One of the movies was, as you brought up, with the Bruce Willis movie, Gasoline Alley, correct? That's with Bruce and Luke Wilson. When does that one come out?
That movie will probably be out sometime this year.
And were you a bouncer in that one?
Yeah, I played a bouncer. I was working with these guys, and I was helping them out. So I was more, I wouldn't say I was the bad guy. I was more in the middle. I was a good the character was a good guy, but he was also working with someone he shouldn't have been working with.
And how much did you enjoy that role? What did you enjoy about it?
Yeah, it was good. It wasn't one of my favorite roles, but I say that because it was, you didn't really, it wasn't different. It was something that's cliched, to see a bouncer, but it's all what you give the character, right. What you give him, what identity you give him. But I thought it was cool. I think my favorite role will probably be the role that I played. I played this role, a guy named David, in a John Malkovich film called Chariot.
Oh, The Chariot, yeah.
Yeah, obviously Thomas Mann and I really worked closely together in that film. But I played a character who takes care of zoo turtles, right? And my only job was to get them to recreate, because they were the last of their species, and they just wouldn't do it. They just wouldn't become intimate. So I also had this thing about me where in my apartment building everything's taped up, right? Because I was telekinetic. And my powers come on whenever I feel pain, and I didn't want them to come on because I wanted to keep people safe. I didn't want to hurt anyone, so I would take pain pills and tape everything up in my room, my apartment building. So when people come in, so when I come in, I can't hurt myself or anything, right? So I thought that was a really unique character.
That's very unique.
Yeah, it's dark comedy, sci-fi, and I had to really watch. I watched Edward Scissorhands. I watched A Green Mile. I was just watching all these different films, especially the ones that the director recommended to me, so that I can embody that spirit and kind of those habits of those characters, so I can incorporate in this character. And I thought it worked really, really well.
What's it like working with somebody? Because you're working John Malkovich, Bruce Willis, Luke Wilson. These are some big time actors. What's that like for you? You're guys used to being around big time athletes. What's it like for you to be around actors like that?
It's different. It's definitely different. I feel like I'm a rookie coming in and I'm watching these guys, but I'm honored to be able to work with these dudes because I get to see how they go on set and how they work, right? And that's what you want to do. You want to learn through experience. It's great to work with an acting coach and to get the information that they have. But when you actually right there and you're watching these dudes that you grew up looking at when you were a kid, I mean, it's nothing better than that. And so I'm just grateful to be able to have the opportunity to be on set with these dudes and rub shoulders with them.
What's like, do you get, I wouldn't say intimidated, but is there a bit of an awestruck when you're around a guy like Bruce Willis or any of these guys? I mean, do you get awestruck at all?
Yeah. Initially, when I first met Bruce and I was on set and I'm just watching him and I'm just meeting him, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I'm like, you kind of feel intimidated a little bit. Yeah. But after a while, you warm up. You're like, okay. I was like, I'm here. I might as well. I've been here before. It's like walking into the NFL. You see all these guys that you watch on TV. So it's the same kind of thing. But like I said, it's also an honor.
Did you have scenes with Bruce and Luke in Gasoline Alley? Did you have direct scenes with them?
Yeah, I have scenes where in Gasoline in A Day to Die, I have
another Bruce Willis movie.
Yeah. So we kind of. We're all in the same place at the same time, kind of thing. But of course, with filming, you guys, we're all together. Like, when I'm on set, we're all together. But then Bruce might get called on his scene an hour before me, and then I come and I do my scene. But we're all together. You know what I mean?
Right.
We just cutting them, just doing them at different times. But the great thing, like I said, it goes back to the locker room. The best part about acting is being outside your trailer or in like the common area and everybody's just hanging out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's what you missed, is you're getting it over there.
Yeah, you're getting it over here. I mean, like, I'm hanging out with Bruce. I'm with Luke. We're talking and we're just everybody's just hanging out. It's just cool, man. It's just cool. It's awesome.
How much do they have a sense of what you did as a football player?
Yeah, they know. They I guess, playing 14 years, they probably, they may not know me, but they probably heard of me or something like that. And then when they're introduced to me, I'm introduced to them as Vernon Davis, the football player. So they all start asking questions and they're excited. But it's cool. You bring two different worlds together. My background is, I was a professional athlete and, people enjoy that. They really enjoy spending time with athletes, especially professionals.
Are you okay when they say Vernon Davis, a professional football player, or are you hoping you get to the point where like that part isn't even needed to be said? Does that matter to you at all? I mean, it's cool and it's a great opener, but do you want, is that something that you would want to always have them introduce you, or get to the point where say it's just Vernon Davis?
No, I think it's good. I think over time, though, I think what'll probably happen is that I'll probably show up in so many different projects, and people will probably just get used to seeing me as an actor. They'll just forget about me as a football player. That's how it usually works. I mean, I think about like watching like Terry Crews, and Rock, and people of that nature, and you see them, and you don't even think about them as athletes. It's just all of a sudden just go away because you see them in so many different projects. So that's what will probably happen for me.
And again, going back to like when you're doing some of the scenes with these guys, you're a very big guy in preparation. We talked about that before in previous stories and all that, and how much prep work you put into it. But if you're acting across from a Luke Wilson, across from a Bruce Willis, is it different? Like, what is that like?
No, it's just like, I think it's pretty. It could be intimidating. It definitely could be intimidating because these guys have done a lot of work. They're well respected. So the thing that you want to do, you want to make sure that you're on top of your game and you've done your research and you're well prepared, because you don't have to go do it over and over and over. If these guys have their lines and they're done, they're good, they're solid, you want to make sure you have yours too. So because you don't want to have them do it over and over just because you made a mistake. So you want to make sure that you're prepared.
Was there a time where is there a time where you remember a scene more because of something that happened or how it went for you with any of those guys? Is there anything that sticks out?
No, I think it just boils down to just being super prepared. It's just being prepared and just going in there and just know that you're having the confidence to deliver and do what you need to do. And as far as the film, walking away from the film, I think it's always some scenes in the film that you remember most from every movie. It might be one or two scenes out of that whole film that you've done that you'll remember out of the entire movie for sure.
How are you different as an actor now compared to when you stopped playing?
I think I'm different in a way when it comes to just being an actor. I think, I read a lot of scripts and, I'm always breaking down scripts and I'm working on my behavior. I'm working on my thoughts and ideas, being happy, being angry, being sad, just all those different curious. Like you work on those little details because those are the little details that keep you in it. Like you might watch a film and you see an actor, they're not blinking, right? They got their eyes open the whole time. Right. Those are the little details, that subtle details that you want when you're an actor. You don't want to move your face as much. You want to keep your eyes, not your eyebrows, because those things distract the camera. So I just try to learn all those little things because, just like from playing football, I got that from football.
Details.
Like little details that take you a long way. So for me, it's just been getting those details.
You also have a message from Brianna. What was that one about?
That's pretty cool. I love that project because that project is something I did with a buddy of mine named Deshaun Hardy, who's also an ex-athlete. He wrote it, directed, and he and I produced it together. It's about a couple who moves into a home, and this guy named Leonard, who used to live in this house, he lived with this girl. This girl came to live with them for the summer. All of a sudden, she disappeared. Found out that later on, he finds out in the story that his grandma, his mom, and his grandparents killed the girl. So now he moves into this house. He buys the house, and he has a daughter now. So that once he gets in the house, this daughter is in his spirit. The spirit is in his daughter. So now he has to figure out what's wrong with his daughter, and he has to keep his family safe.
That's pretty cool. So which one comes out next?
You know what? It all depends on the timing. Okay. Depends on distribution. Whichever ones get distributed the fastest and gets distributed first.
What's next for you then?
I got 3 more films that I'm gonna try to get done this year. I got one called Dragon's Egg, which will be a pretty cool film. I think Paula Patton's attached to that, and a couple other big stars. I think Peter Facinelli should be joining on that. But that's gonna be a big one, big action packed. It's going to be about these soldiers who are in the military going on a mission, and the sand gets into people and it causes them to become like possessed in a way. Not possessed, but it takes over their body pretty much. It kills them. It mutates them and they turn into like this red, like nasty stuff. But yeah, that's going to be a pretty cool film. And then there's other ones that I have on the books that I'm going to do. So I'm gonna try to get at least 3 more done before the end of the year out. And gosh, that'll put me at 11 to 12 movies for the year.
Holy cow. That's unbelievable. I mean, seriously, that's a lot of work. That's nonstop.
Yeah, that's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work, but you see, but when you're doing it, you have fun with it. It's just fun. Yeah. Like if I get a project that I like, oh man, I'll read it. And I read it and read it, and I just, if I fall in love with it, I definitely want to be a part of the project.
How did you connect with Bruce to get to do those movies? How did you guys end up getting connected with him?
Through my partners, the partners that I'm partnered with, TMG, the TMG group out of Fitzgerald, Georgia. We just, it's like whenever you do anything, you always want to. It's like any business, any startup, right? You want to have all the pieces that you need together, right? You want to have this guy, the producer, the line producer, the director of photography, everyone has to be able to bring something to the table. And my partners, they bring a lot to the table. You know, they know how to raise the funds for the movie. They know how to distribute. They know how to get the attachments that we need, which are the talent. We just all work together. We all work together. You know, I might know someone that they can get them to this person. It's just everybody working together and making the thing happen.
And I hate to keep harping on the Bruce stuff, but I'm fascinated by that because, again, you guys, you know, you were a big person in this industry. He's a huge person in this industry. Like when you're just shooting the breeze with him on the set, like how did it come across to you? Do you remember an encounter in particular? And maybe I'm too obsessed with that part.
Yeah. I got there's all kinds of things that I don't know. It's just like general conversation, like anything else. You just talk, and the thing is, we never really talk about acting. You just don't talk about acting because, that's what we're here for. We're here to do our job. We don't, you don't have to really talk about it. You talk about the next project, right? That's that's what people are talking about. What are you working on next, right? Okay. Because as an actor, it's just like, you've done your work, you've done your research, you're prepared. You know what you're gonna go into each scene and do, like because it should be effortless. It's natural. It's in you. You're gonna go perform. So we just talk about and we just joke around. We just have fun and just eat, relax, and just wait for our time to be called to do the next scene.
So when you see somebody because again, athlete to actor, when you look at somebody like The Rock, do you say, hey, that's what I want to be in 10 years or whatever? Do you have that kind of mind? Or do you just, how do you look at your future, where you want to be down the road?
Yeah, I would love to be, to do some of the same kind of things The Rock is doing, but I know everyone's path is different. I like his work ethic. I think he's doing a lot of things, especially when it comes to creating content. But for me, I'm just taking it. I'm just taking them as they come. I really know what I'm doing and where I want to be as far as my career. I can see it, but it's one of those things that you don't really know how it's going to shape. You know it's going to shape out good, but you don't know how, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just going and just taking things as they come and just hoping for the best. And I know that I'm gonna put the work in to be, as good as I can possibly be.
Then you also have your Vernon Davis, the NFT collection, and that's the non-fungible tokens. So what do people need to know about that?
Non-fungible. I think they can just follow me, keep up with me on Instagram. I'm always posting what they can, how they can get the NFT and be involved. I think the NFT is something that could work. It's one of those things, you try it. If it works, it works. This whole Bitcoin world is something that's totally foreign to me. I haven't really gotten into it like most people are probably in it. But
it's way over my head.
I take my time, be safe, and just just be a part of it. I wanted to try it. I want to see if I could auction off some items and make people happy.
Yeah, I forgot to ask you about. You're also in Dear Best Friend. You're a villain in that.
Yeah, I forgot about that film. You're right. Yeah. I did do that. That's what happens, man. When you just going, man, you forget things. But yeah, I'm a villain. Dear Best Friend was written by. I actually introduced my buddy Deshaun Hardy to this woman who does a lot of films with BET, and they loved him. He wrote the story. He actually wrote it around me. He wrote this character for me, and he had me choose. But I didn't want to be the character. I didn't want to take on the role of the character that he wanted for me, because it just, after reading it, I was like, no, I'm feeling the other character better. So I basically played that guy's alter ego, right? It's about a book, one of those movies you open up and then all of a sudden, you go to the book and it's the same story, but different people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was a cool project. I really enjoyed that. It was very intense. But I think it's going to be something, when people watch it, they're going to be like, wow, that's an amazing project.
Cool. And are you based out in LA now? Are you out there full time?
No, I'm here. I'm still in McLean. I'm in McLean, Virginia.
Okay. So, Well, very good, Vernon. I'm glad to hear that everything's going well for you. Not surprised, but your schedule just makes me a little bit tired, because that's a lot. It's a lot going on there for you, but it's good to see. So I'm glad to hear everything's going well for you.
No, thank you so much. You said in LA, I just thought about it. It's like I got to go down and move to LA for about for a month and a half, 2 months, because I got picked up by Fox to be a judge on a show for them.
Which show?
It's a new show called Domino Masters.
What do you do for that?
I'll be a judge.
What's the concept of the show?
The show is about these group of guys. It should be about 16 teams if they didn't change anything. And the guys is 3 people on each team, and they create this world based on the theme. They create this world using like tons of space. I'd say the space is probably 1,000 to 2,000 square feet of space, and they built this world with dominoes. It's pretty
Cool.
freaking phenomenal. Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is crazy. I would love to be a part of this. You see all these dominoes, and they're building these worlds, and dominoes are falling in sequence. It's crazy, man. It's pretty amazing.
That sounds like a fun show to watch. So cool. Another thing you got going on. So
Yeah.
Good for you. So Vernon, it was good catching up with you.
Yeah, you as well. Thank you. Good to hear from you.
Good to hear from you. Thanks, man.
All right. Thank you.